is going to be a progressive series on my hooks tutorial. So I've already made a tutorial on useState and useEffect hook, and today we're going to be learning about useRef hook. So if you guys want to check out the previous videos, go to my channel and there is a playlist called React Hooks. So you'll find all of these videos over there. So in terms of useRef hook, a lot of people think, it's really useful. Do we really need to use it? And a lot of people, find, difficult, how to even, get started with useRef. So that's why I wanted to create a video on that one. useRef hook is quite handy if you are doing some sort of DOM manipulation. So without further ado, let's get started actually. So I just have a simple React app with just h1 tag over here. I want to create a form which is going to contain input field. It's going to be a self-closing tag and it's going to be of type text, and I'm going to have a button. So it's going to say submit. And since we are wrapping it inside the form, what we can do over here is, because we don't want to handle, if we're wrapping in the form, it's really easy to, let the form tag handle all of the events. So over here for button, you can do something like type equals to submit. So that way you don't have to explicitly write anything, any code regarding, this on-click handling on submit. But we do want to have event handler over here on form element. We can pass a prop called on submit. We can name it as handle form submit. So let's define this function. It's going to be an arrow function. It's going to take event as a argument. I'll show you guys in a second why I'm doing that. Okay, now that error is gone, let's test it out. So what happens if we submit that? So I'm going to say hello, and if I press enter, as you can see, it refreshed the app. We don't want that. That's why we want to make a use of this event right here. In order to prevent that, it's pretty simple. You want to do event.prevent default. That will stop the browser from refreshing. So if I do hello now, if I press enter, it's not going to refresh, it's going to process the current session. And if I submit, it's going to do the same thing, because this is of type submit, and since this is of type submit, on form we have on submit of handle form submit, and it's handling the default behavior. So now what we want to do is we want to import two hooks, useEffect and useRef. I'll show you guys in a second why I'm importing useEffect hook too. I'm going to import useRef and useEffect from React. Let's start by initializing the useRef hook. Const. Okay, while naming, the useRef hook, what you want to do is, let's say if you're passing that reference to button, what I like to do is I like to write the name of the button and write ref at the end, which provides a cleaner code. That way if someone comes in and looks over your code, they will know it instantly, what kind of reference you're talking about. But right now we are trying to have a reference to input field. So what I'll do is I will do input ref equals to use ref, and that will start with the value of null. Okay, our useRef hook is ready to be used. Now inside that, so any HTML element where you want to pass the reference, what you need to do is there is a property called ref equals to name of your reference, input ref. Now anywhere in the app if we have access to this input ref, we can do like a whole bunch of things with this input field. That's the purpose of useRef hook. But for the purpose of this video, we will only be dealing with within this app.js component. But like all of the use cases are like endless. If you pass it down as props or like even add it to the store, you can make a use of it anywhere in the component. Okay, now let's start by, because whenever I refresh the app, what I want to have is I want to have a focus shifted to this input field. So what do I mean by focus? Right now, if I type something, it doesn't do anything. But as soon as I click over here and type something, I'm able to type in the text field right here. I want to have that behavior. So in order to achieve that, if you want to do something, like whenever your app loads, the best thing to do is using the use effect hook. Use effect. I'm going to use a snippet over here. So if you guys don't have this extension, you want to go to extension, and if you search for React, and they have a React Redux snippet. So as soon as you install that one, you will get access to all of these snippets. I don't want return statement. I'm going to get rid of that dependency too. Now over here, what I will do is I'm going to make a use of this reference right here. So as soon as my app loads, I'm going to use that reference, and inside that reference there is a property called current. Within that current property there is a function called focus. I'm going to call that. That's pretty much it. So now if I refresh the app, as you can see, the focus is already shifted over there. And it makes like user experience really good, because you don't have to go there and manually click on the input field. And it's a like a really nice feature to have whenever you're building something. Okay, our use effect portion is done. Now let's start like how we can do other things from this useRef hook whenever we submit the form. Okay, now let's go and write something on this handle form submit. So as soon as I submit the button, submit the form, what I want to have is I want to clear out the input field. I want to use input ref again, dot, there is a property called current, dot, there is also a property called value, and I want to set that to empty string. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, let's refresh again. Focus is right there. I'm going to say hello, and if I submit it, it clears out the form. If I type something, even if I click submit button, it clears out it. Yeah, this hook is quite handy. Let's say if you had this input field on app.js, and somewhere in the like anywhere like down your component tree, you want to manipulate the data over here, you can do that, because if like once you like pass this down those components. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, as I said, this is a super beginner friendly. I'm sure after this video you guys will find something like useful regarding useRef hook and try exploring it. Yeah, there are a bunch of use cases like where we have to do DOM manipulation, and during those time this ref is like quite handy. I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So if you guys like the video, feel free to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be bringing out many more contents in the future. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.